Showing up in Google after launching your website is not actually as hard as you might think. There are two different factors that go into it. The first thing is optimization, and the second thing is marketing. Optimization happens while you're building your first 5 pages. Your first 5 pages are very simple. They're usually something like a home page, about page, services page, contact page, and a blog. All of those pages are very simple and they're very easy for most people to understand when they come to your website. They know where to click, they know exactly what those pages are, and then if they really want to, they can go to your blog and read some of your content. But the odds are not too many people are going to come to your website and read all of that content. However, you need to post some good things so that Google will realize that you have content, that you continue to add content, and that your website doesn't just go stagnant and become 5 years old and start kind of collecting dust. So the optimization happens during the first 5 pages. When you have your home page, it's like chrisbell.com. And I have different websites that I build. So I have slant websites, and then I have real estate. So I also have slant real estate. So if you typed in Chris Bell real estate into Google, you would find me very quickly simply because my URL is chrisbell.com slant real estate. So if you have a cleaning website and you have cleaningservices.com slant services in New Hampshire, then you're probably going to show up for services in New Hampshire. You're also going to write the word New Hampshire throughout your website every once in a while because that's where you are. So that's the optimization part. Anytime that you have an image and somebody hovers over your image, there's a little bit of an alt tag there, they call it. So if you can label that alt tag cleaning services in New Hampshire, then you'll also start to show up quicker. And the very top of that services page, you want it to say cleaning services in New Hampshire. And then when you're writing the content, you also want to mention that, but you want it to flow smoothly as well, because if you're writing a cleaning services website in New Hampshire, you don't have to force it to let Google know that you're trying to show up for those words. Likewise, if you have a website about Aruba vacations, you don't have to go out of your way to let Google know that you want to show up for Aruba vacations. There's probably just other websites out there that are doing a little bit more. Everybody tries to do the optimization first. You don't want your website to say cleaningservices.com slant page 1, slant page 2. You want that URL, so when you label that page, you need to be specific in the URL. And then the title, inside the head, there's the head tag. It starts with a head, it ends the head. Inside there, people don't really see that, but that's the part that shows up in Google. When you type in cleaning services New Hampshire, and you see 10 different results in Google, there's a link and then there's a description. That link is written in the head tag, and so isn't that description. You have to write those in. That's the optimization part. Again, if you have a video or you have a picture, then you're going to label those pictures with the same thing on that page. So if you have a page about your services, you're going to write cleaning services on the video and on the image. And then you make a second page that's about your products. So you have slant cleaning products in New Hampshire .html or .php, whatever it might be. And all of the images and videos and products on that page are going to have those optimization tags. So make sure that every single page that you create is optimized. If there are two different websites that are competing for cleaning services, one of them is cleaningservices1.com and cleaningservices2.com. If you both have 5 pages and one of them has all of those tags that I just mentioned optimized into the words that you're trying to show up for, and the other one doesn't, then you're going to show up first. It's just because you're telling Google, I would like to show up for these words, so please consider me in the group. So Google will look for everyone that has cleaning services New Hampshire written on their website within the tags in the optimized parts. And then once they pull together all 1,000, they start looking into the marketing. Now the marketing is after you create your first 5 pages. you'll want to start creating more and more blog posts, and those blog posts need to be 500 words long. They need to have a couple of images. Those images need to be tagged, and then they maybe even need to have a video, just like this. You need to have your own content. Even if you don't have your own content, you can link a video to YouTube, or you can go find a good video on YouTube and embed it into your website. Even that at least will bring users to your website, and when they see the video, even if they only watch it for 30 seconds out of a few minutes, they're still going to stay on your website for longer. If you have 2 competing websites for cleaning services, and 10 people come to my website and they hang out on my website and view a couple pages, they stay there for maybe 5 minutes each. 10 people go to your website, they see the very first page, they think it's kind of an ugly design, and they back right out. So 10 people back out of your website in 1 second, and 10 people stay and view a second page on my website. Of course that means Google is going to then rank one of those websites higher than the other, because Google's customers, their viewers of the websites, are seeing those results, and Google wants to give the best result to their customers. So that's why people say quality content is one of the best things that you can think about when making a website. So that's optimizing all of the tags. Anywhere, if you have a WordPress website or some kind of template that you're using, you'll want to look into everything that can be labeled. If you can label a picture, label it. If it says caption, put a caption. If it says title at the top, put a title. And the same page should have the same content throughout. So you could have Picasso painting as a title, Picasso painting in the description, Picasso painting in the beginning of your words, and the title of the page, the image, the video. All of those things need to say Picasso painting. And then you move on to a different kind of painting and you label it likewise throughout the entire thing. That's optimizing. The second thing that you're going to want to think about is marketing. Once you build your first website with 5 pages, you're going to not want to add 50 blog posts in the first day. You're going to want to add 50 blog posts over the course of a year. Well, if you can do 1 blog post per week, and you'll have 52 blog posts by the end of the year. It doesn't necessarily mean that because you have 50 pages, you're going to show up before someone with 5 pages. Ultimately, you have a very good chance of showing up before someone with 5 pages, but Google wants to see that you are making updates on a regular basis. They want to see that someone is updating all of that content, because if you write something today, it may not be that relevant a year from now. But if you continue adding new posts every single day for the or every single week for the entire year, they're going to see that someone is in there, someone is administering that website, someone is adding new content to that website. And if you're adding new content, that probably means you're updating the old content as well. The marketing side of it, as you're doing that, so you'll add a new blog post, and right when you add that new blog post, you'll want to add it to your Facebook. Just a link, that's all you have to do, just one quick link. Add it to your Facebook, add it to your Twitter, and the rest of your social media. If it's just take your best image out of it that you created and add that to Instagram. When you add all of those links to the outside and they start pointing in, it makes your website more popular. So what happens is, if I have a website and I don't post anything on Facebook, and you do have a website and you post all of your links onto Facebook, you're probably going to show up before I do, if everything else is the same. So social media is the easiest one. A lot of people are probably already doing that. Another marketing technique is to sign up on local websites. And again, that link back to you is important. It's called link building. So you go to local.com, you go to yellowpages.com, you go to Google and you fill out your address and you fill out your company website and name, and then you go to the rest of them that you can think of. Anything, type in top local websites and you sign up for every single one of them. Angie's List, anything that you can think of that allows you to put a link on that website. So your company profile, the name of your company, where you are, and the link back to your website. And ultimately that is where Google is trying to get viral. If your website creates a very funny video and you post it onto Facebook and they all start sharing it, not only is that video funny and people are sharing it, that video is something you created that came from your website. So every time somebody shares it, it's still pointing back to your website. And as the central spot and all of these links pointing back to your website versus my website over here, I didn't create the popular video and nothing is pointing toward me, then Google's not going to hover toward that spot. They're going to go toward your website and not my website. So that's where the marketing really comes in. Every time you make a new post, you want to kind of put that post out there into different areas so that people will see it, share it, read it, and then when they read it, if it's good enough content, they might start reading another page of yours. Or if it's a good enough video, they might watch another video of yours. So the idea is to get people to view a second thing. If you make the first video so good that someone says, wow, I'd like to watch a second one, that's the ultimate with Google. So let's think about the trail that if you have products on your website, 1,000 people come to your homepage, 900 people view a product, 800 people add a product to cart, 700 people check out and end up on a thank you page. The fact that that had a little bit of a trail off is definitely not a problem. The problem is you have 1,000 people come to your homepage, 1,000 people leave. That's a big problem. That automatically tells any normal person that there's a problem right there. Okay, if you have 1,000 people that come to your website and 900 view a product, and then 900 leave your website. It's called a bounce rate. And where that bounce happens is where you find out that you have problems. If people come to your website and they bounce right away, then there's a problem with your homepage. It could be a problem with your design. It could be a problem with the way that you laid it out. If someone comes to your website, 1,000 people, and they view a product, there could be a pricing problem if they bounce after that. There could be a problem with the way that you put your product. There could be a link problem where you actually didn't even create a valid link that goes to the shopping cart. So people are trying to click on the product, but they can't. So once you find where people are bouncing off of your website, it's a good idea to start digging into those pages and see what's going on here. So if you have 10 blog posts and 1,000 people come to blog post number 1 and all view a second post, that means it's a very good post. But if the 1,000 people all come to post number 10 and bounce, that means something might be wrong with that post. So there's a good way to look into all of those analytics and figure out where people are leaving your website, because you want them to stay longer. The more pages they view, the more products they purchase, the faster they end up on that thank you page, means that Google will rank you higher. It's the same thing as YouTube videos. If you have 2 videos and one of them has 1,500 likes out of 1,500 views, it's 100% positive, and then another video only has 2 likes and it has 10,000 views and it has 5 dislikes. Of course, that's just natural that the other video is going to show up before that one. So the positive feedback that you can get from your viewers, if you have a comment area where people are leaving positive comments, not only are they leaving positive comments, but they're also adding to the content and updating your website on a regular basis. So instead of you having to go back next week and create another blog post, other people are adding comments to your website on a regular basis and making it so that your website is updated and relevant. People are using it and people are enjoying it, or else they wouldn't be there. If you had a comments area and nobody's leaving comments, then that's probably a problem. You're going to have to figure out how to entice people to leave those comments, how to entice people to subscribe to your videos, and how to entice people to stay on your website and do something else. So push them along and get them to go to the next page. Continuously add a new blog post. Make sure every time you add a new blog post that you optimize it. You have a similar title, a similar description, a similar tag on your image, a similar video so that people can view it and watch it, and then a good amount of content, not just one paragraph. It has to be a lot longer than that, and it has to be enticing. It has to be something that people haven't read before. So in 2018, people probably aren't reading long paragraphs or long posts. However, you need to have that content. So the good thing to do for your viewers and for Google at the same time is to make 10 paragraphs and then have a bold header for each one of those paragraphs. The easiest way to think about that is to say the top 10 basketball plays in 2018. So you have top 10 all in bold, and then inside those you have a paragraph. So I'm going to look at that website very quickly. I'm going to look at that page. I'm going to see number 1 is LeBron James, and I'm not going to read the rest of that paragraph. I'm going to look at number 2, I'm going to look at number 3, I'm going to look at number 4, and if I see, oh, okay, number 5, why did he put or she put number 5 with this person? I'm going to read that paragraph. Skimmed it and moved on. When they scroll to the very bottom and they've read everything they can possibly read on your website, there needs to be some links in the footer area so that they can click and move on to the next page. If they can't click and move on to the next page, it makes it easier for them to hit the back button and bounce off of your website. You want them to have more content available at the bottom so that you can move on. That's why a lot of websites on social media, on YouTube, scroll forever. They don't just do it because of cell phones and people are just scrolling up and scrolling up and scrolling up. It's because if there's nowhere else to click, they click back. Even when you're on Facebook, if you don't have anything else to view as you're scrolling down, you'll click back. And people don't want that. They want you to click forward. So if you give people the availability to click something at the bottom of the website, then you're allowing them to move forward. And it adds, like I said, 1,000 people come to page 1, 900 move to page 2, 800 to page 3. That's actually an incredible statistic. I don't know if it sounds that good to you. I don't know how much you know about this, but that's an incredible statistic. There's no way 1,000 people are going to come to your website and 1,000 people are going to view another page, because at least 2% of those people came to your website by accident and they're just leaving anyway because they didn't mean to click on it. So the rest of the people are going to move on, and again, a percentage are going to drop out because something just went wrong. It just wasn't why they were there. You could also have a low volume website. If you have 10 visitors to your website and only one person purchases a product, looking at those statistics, you think, why didn't the other 9 purchase anything? But what if one person came to your website, looked at your pricing, backed out, closed their computer, went shopping with their wife, came back, went to the website and said, I need to review that price again. Okay, I got the price. Closed their computer, went to work the next day, told their boss about the pricing, told their boss to go to the website and look at it. The boss went to the website and looked at it and said, that's great, go buy the product. So you went back to your office and then bought the product. That's like almost 5 views before you even bought that product. So sometimes you can't really bank on all of those statistics either. You want to look at them and you want to figure it out, but just don't take it too seriously. I think it's about 3 to 4% is a very, very high success rate, even for the biggest products in the world. Even Walmart probably only has 3 to 4% buy rate of all of the visitors that come to their website, because so many people are just browsing and then going to another spot or coming back later and buying again. So sometimes people are hitting your website 2 or 3 times before they buy the product because they're searching around and trying to be a smart consumer. Landscaping website, take pictures. Just take pictures of before and after jobs, so that if you're a construction company, same thing. There's probably so many things that you turn from dust into glistening that's great. You turn a lawn into something great that's going to just bring people in and draw them in. So you have a landscaping website with 5 pages, and I have a landscaping website with 5 pages and 35 blog posts of the last 35 jobs that I did, with pictures and videos of how I turned old looking gross lawns into really nice looking great lawns with bark mulch and flowers and all of that stuff. And take a little extra care on the job, because when you actually take that picture and one of your new potential customers sees that lawn that you turned into, they're going to say, wow, they could probably do that with my lawn as well. And then your lawn will end up on their website a little bit later. So those are the types of things that you need to be doing, and that's the easiest way to add new content. If you have a landscaping website and you want to add 50 blog posts this year, I don't know what you could possibly talk about for new content if you're not taking pictures and talking about the jobs that you did. There's just nothing else you could possibly be talking about that would interest anybody to view one of your pages and look at another page. You have to talk about, job, landscaping job in Bedford, New Hampshire, or Manchester, New Hampshire. And then the next one, landscaping job in Nashua, New Hampshire, and so on and so on. And you got to add pictures and make sure that you put that same tag on the picture. And if you want to take a video, a 360 video of the yard, just make sure you're not, using that video on their house or anything too personal. But take a video of the job that you did. Don't be afraid to post it online and just show your customers exactly what you can do and how good of a job that you actually do. Everybody says that they have good customer service, but when you show it on your website, your actual jobs, you're really telling your customers, this is what I do and this is how we do it. We're clean, we don't make a mess, we come in, and when we're done, we make sure that everything looks the way it was before, and it looks a lot better. So if you actually do a good job, you should have no problem posting all of that stuff online and showing your customers exactly what you did. Thank you.